Hi everybody, we're back with thelampformyfeet.com and today we're going to draw Psalm 91 verse 1. We will end up going through 4 or 5 verses, but we're going to start today with verse 1, which says, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." So that's what we're going to draw. We're going to start with he. And remember, with this method, we're doing little drawings that represent the words. So for he, let's do a little guy, and we'll just start with that, and we'll give him some little funny hair. And remember, this isn't really about the art. This is just about little memory triggers. And I'm going to draw a tie. Just something really simple. Let's make it a striped tie for he. And we're just going to give him some arms and some legs and feet. But this is to remember it's a he, okay? So maybe we'll give him some little hands there. I think he's got his hands turned out. So we have he who dwells. So we have to think of something for dwells. And I think we're going to do a well, okay? But we're going to add a little something to it. Let's just kind of sketch out a little well here. And we'll just give it a little top like that. And maybe our well is probably made of like little bricks that somebody stacked up. But it's not a well, it's dwell. So up here where we have our little bucket coming down, we'll just do a simple little bucket. And on our bucket, we're going to do a D. For a well with a D is dwell. So again, you keep going over these words and pictures so your kids kind of get it in their mind. He who dwells. Okay, and let's just kind of shade this so we can kind of see it's dark down there. Really simple. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. So for shelter, I'm thinking of kind of a little tree branch that kind of comes down. Okay, we've got a simple, maybe a couple little tree branches here. We're just doing it real sketchy. And we've got kind of our little tree trunk that kind of goes out. Maybe we've got like a little home in there for some squirrels where a branch used to be. And down here under these branches is kind of hidden a little shelter. And maybe the little roots of the tree kind of come like this. Just to give a little idea, we'll give this a little bit of a texture. So we've got our little guy, and maybe he's kind of laying here, and he's in this little shelter, just kind of laying. Maybe he's just relaxing. This is just a stick figure, very simple. Maybe it's the same little guy with hair. So we have he who dwells, a well with a D, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High. And remember, whenever we do God or the Lord or Jesus, we typically do this little memory trigger, even though we know he's not in the sky with the clouds and the sun. We like to kind of show that he's up in a beautiful place like that. But this isn't God, this is Most High. So we're going to do an M and an H, because that Most High is God, but that helps us remember the exact word, the reference for him. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. So for resting, let's do a little bed here. Maybe we've got a little bed with the little knobs on the top. And this is the little part that goes on the ground. And here is our little bed with our, maybe we have another little striped. Well, let's do this one plaid. He's got a plaid little blanket on his bed. He's got a little fluffy pillow, and he's resting on his bed. So there's his little head, and there's his legs, and he's just resting. Again, this is no great art, right? We're just getting the idea of resting. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Most High. So for shadow, we're going to kind of put him in a shadow, okay? This is just a simple little, and as your kids are doing this and you're talking them through it, he's in the shadow. He's resting in the shadow of the Almighty. And so again, Almighty, here it was Most High. This time we're going to do the Almighty. We'll just do our little cloud. Give it a little puff. And it's going to be A for Almighty. Now, if you're not going over this verse, that's not going to mean anything, and neither would MH. But we go over it and we talk about it and talk about it. So this part is, will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And here we can see this shadow is being cast by the Almighty. So we have he who dwells in the shelter. This is a little shelter. You could also do like a little shack, would be cute as a little shelter. This is like you're roughing it in the woods shelter. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And that's verse 1 of Psalm 91. And we'll do verse 2 next. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Don't forget, you can make this a coloring page. You can adapt this, tweak it. This is just to help hide God's word in your heart. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.